Hello, welcome. This is Scott May from Goddard USD 265 for EDL 954 District Finance. I'm going to go over some numbers for Module 3 that have to do with federal and state budgets. To get us started, we have the assessed valuation and cash balances. The assessed valuation for the district was $263,358,554, with the cash balances just under $17 million for the 17-18 school year. This chart I found interesting just for the simple fact that it lists out the different line items for expenditures and then the percentages based on the state percentages. And that came up to a total of $50,833,943. General and state aid, if you'll notice, our FTE, according to this chart, was 5,655 and ended up being a general state aid per pupil of 4,905 and 92 cents. The other items within the chart are interesting in the fact that it shows the weighted FTE and how that affects the special education numbers. Headcount enrollment unaudited for the 17-18 school year was 5,767. 2018-19, we came in at 6,033. That just kind of shows the growth that our district is actually experiencing, and this isn't uncommon. This is kind of a year in, year out type of experience for Goddard, just considering where we're located and the growth that we've seen. Kindergarten formats, we have 324 students in full day, 40 in half day, and with a total of 364. I found these numbers somewhat interesting. They were current numbers, but I actually housed the half day program within the district, and I'm questioning a little bit of where that number comes from. So I just found a discrepancy there of what is actually happening and what maybe is on the spreadsheets. So I just found that interesting. Free and reduced enrollment. This shows the current numbers of the 18-19 school year. You can see by the total number of students and then the percentage of students approved for free and reduced lunches. I do know that within our district, sometimes the identification process is hard, especially as getting into the high school students of whether they actually are claiming free and reduced lunches and taking advantage of that or not. And so just found those numbers interesting as well. Meal pricing. Every year this goes to the board of how they're going to price meals, and so there you can see a breakdown of both the lunch prices and the breakfast prices for elementary, middle, and high school, as well as the adults. They seem to be somewhat reasonable and comparable to other districts in the state. Mill rates. There's a variety of different things that are levied to come up with that total mill rate of 58.934 mills. And then there's the personnel and salaries. We have 357 certified staff members and just over 288 non-certified. The salaries average out at the superintendent with $202,794. That's including the fringe benefits that they receive, and the principal average of about $103,000. Teacher just under $157,000, all of those including the fringe benefits. I found that spreadsheet particularly interesting, just comparing district to district and what kind of fringe benefit numbers that played into that total for the average salary. School district bonds. We did just pass a bond this past year, $52 million bond, and we do have some outstanding bonds as well, which makes that total 173 million plus. And again, another indication of the growth that we're seeing in Goddard and just having a revolving revolving bonds come through, and then trying to get some of those bonds paid off, which we have done in recent years with good interest rates and things like that. So um, that is the bond situation in USD 265. Pupil to teacher ratio, like I'd mentioned before, the certified staff members, and there's the number of teachers. With the enrollment, these look like the 17-18 school year numbers, but the teacher to pupil ratio is about 19.7, almost 20, 20 to 1. As far as transportation, $2,250,046. It shows the cost per pupil at $384. And I found it interesting that within our district, which is somewhat urban, but also has a nice population of rural and hazardous type roadways that you would have to maybe transport students across, especially if it's over the 2.5 miles. That out of around 6,000 students that we have, 4,225 are transported. So that's a pretty hefty job to put onto the transportation. And my references, of course, were Data Central. I enjoyed this particular project. I did not really realize sometimes I'm offered the information that I saw on the website by my district administrators, but in looking through all the different ways you can filter the information and find that information, I found it interesting that that resource is there. And I may be definitely using it just to pull data points in the future. So this was a good experience, and I enjoyed seeing everything that that site had to offer. Thank you.